And
Thank you.
gasoline futures are lower for a second straight day, but retail gas prices are climbing for the 19th straight day. The average price for a regular gallon of gas coming in at $3.91 now. It's up 21 cents from just a month ago. Rising prices have travelers thinking twice before hitting the road and the skies this summer. So what can be done to bring gas prices down and save you a little money when you travel? Here to discuss all that is Jack Gerard, President and CEO of the American Petroleum Institute. And from Seattle, we have Joe Megibow. He is Vice President and General Manager of travel site Expedia.com. Gentlemen, thanks so much for joining us. Jack, I want to start with you because there was this sort of mind-boggling article in the New York Times from a reporter, I guess, at NPR, who was saying that there has been no impact on the consumer of these higher gas prices. The real shock of the oil shock is that consumers don't care. What do you think? Has there been no impact to the consumer of, gas prices doubling in the past 3 years?
Oh, I'm not sure who produced that story, but clearly there's been an impact on consumers, and it's something we need to focus more on. And candidly, we need to change the policies in the United States to have a long-term comprehensive energy policy so we don't continue to have these spikes. There's a lot of variables that influence the price of gasoline that we cannot control, such as the unrest in the Middle East, the demand in China, places like that. What we can control is the amount of production or supply we put into the market. And that's where the president's policies have failed. He continues to restrict our ability to produce more of our own oil and natural gas. We believe that's where action needs to be taken and needs to be taken now so it does not hurt consumers.
Okay. Joe, do you think, as you watch people come to the travel site and make their decisions about the summer, are they behaving differently because of what's going on with the price of gasoline?
Yeah, well, certainly it has affected the price of air tickets. So we're seeing year-over-year air tickets are up about 6% on average. And in terms of transactions, we've seen relatively flat year-over-year transactions. But interestingly, we are seeing people traveling as much or, in fact, more than they had in prior years. They're just staying closer to home instead of having the more expensive flights or putting that same amount of money into potentially nicer hotel rooms a little closer to home or more of a drive trip than a flight trip.
But Joe, there's no way to know, I guess, probably if that's in reaction to the higher price of fuel and gasoline, those jet fuel surcharges, or how much you're paying at the pump, or if that's just a function of, a slower economy and more people out of work, right?
Well, no, we are seeing actually that people are continuing to travel. Travel is just a vibrant, important part of Americans. But given that air ticket prices have gone up, and one of the primary reasons for that are the fuel surcharges, we are seeing behavioral pattern changes in what they're transacting with flights versus hotels.
Okay, so Jack, you hear the president say again and again, there's no silver bullet, there's nothing he could do right now. As the president, you only have so much power. What is one thing that he could do right now that would have an impact on prices at the pump in the near term?
Well, Melissa, we can learn from history. We don't have to go back very far to learn a great lesson. In 2008, when the price of gasoline began to rise, then President Bush stepped forward and said, I'm going to take the moratorium off the outer continental shelf, and we're going to produce our own energy right here in the United States. Within 2 days, the price of crude oil, which is the key factor, the key driver of the price of gasoline, dropped by over $15 a barrel. If the market understood, particularly the futures market understood, that help is on the way, that we're going to take our future in our own hands, we believe that would have some short-term impact. So we don't buy the argument that there are no silver bullets. There may not be a comprehensive answer immediately today, but clearly we can start putting the pieces together to finish this puzzle and get serious about producing our own energy.
And then real quick before we go, Joe, if people wanted to try and have a summer vacation this summer in spite of everything that's going on with gas prices, what's the cheapest way to get it done?
Yeah, there's a tremendous number of ways this year, in fact, growing to save money. There's a variety of things like flash sales, so our Groupon getaways, or we have a thing called a sudden amazing price, ASAP, where every day we have as much as 50% off trips. If you bundle that flight with your hotel, what we call a package, so same flight, same hotel, but buy them at the same time, you can save typically about $500 for that same vacation. Or in places like Hawaii, we're seeing on average as much as $1,000 for the trip in savings. And there's an increasing number of great tools online, such as we have, for instance, the Package Explorer, where you can just put in what month do I want to travel, what's my budget, and it'll show you the best deals consumers have actually found worldwide to save money.
Okay, gentlemen, thank you for helping us come up with some solutions today instead of just complaining about what's going on out there. We're trying to solve the problem. Thanks to both of you for joining us.
Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you very much.